and big news, exciting news though for homeowners. Exciting news for homeowners. Oh yeah, you can kill burglars now. I think that's the gist of it. I think that's it. I'm not sure. You can put bear traps around your house and hear a yelp in the middle of the night.
I think basically a slapstick rule should apply. If it goes you're fine. If you kill the guy, not so much.
Yeah. You're allowed to be proportionate in your violence towards burglars, but not grossly proportionate. So, if what you're doing to the burglar could feature in one of the Saw movies...
You want to go with Laurel and Hardy films, ideally.
Exactly.
Try and, you know, whack them by turning around with a ladder, you know, a bucket on their head.
Who has received a hero's welcome at the conference?
Batman!
Yeah. Yes, the bit where Batman came. No, not Batman.
Oh, Boris.
Boris
Johnson said he wanted to be tough on crime. And this was after, apparently, he's had 6 bikes nicked. And you're wondering, has he really had 6 bikes nicked? Or 6 times he just hasn't got a clue where he in fact left them?
What was the hero's welcome? What did they do for him?
So they kind of clapped. It wasn't like they threw rose petals or anything like that. They were just very happy to see him.
Well, a hero's welcome. You know, in Aladdin, when he's on the elephant and it's, hey, clear the way in the old bazaar. Hey, you, let us through. It's a bright new star. Oh, come be the first on the block to meet his eye. You know, you're gonna love this guy. That... The hero's welcome.
I defer to your definition of a hero's welcome. At no point did Barbs arriving on, near, or confusingly like an elephant.
They also gave him, like they give everyone at the Tory Party conference, they gave him a 2-minute standing ovation. That's what they give absolutely everyone, whatever they've said. It makes perfect sense. It's 30 seconds of clapping and a minute and a half for most of them to stand up.
Do you need a hat? I can do this.
Hinge and bracket over there. OK. In other news, outside the party conference, what have hospital patients been asked to rate?
They have been asked to rate, apparently, exactly how good the A&E departments are. The question is, would you recommend this A&E department to your friends and family? I mean, what are you going to say to them? Oh, well, don't worry, you've had an accident. You're going to St Mark's, and that's got a crack in A&E.
It's the beginning of Casualty. Wasn't it? Just a man falling off his shed onto his garden rake and then crawling to his laptop to go on TripAdvisor.
Or just come home to your partner, square up and go, I'm going to send you someplace nice.
Well, I've never heard domestic violence put quite as charmingly as that. Yes, I love that they put don't know in. There's extremely likely, neither likely nor unlikely, extremely don't know. Don't ask the people with concussion. How would you rate it? Cabbage? Banana? Mummy? Cabbage?
The people who give the lowest rating are dead. So the results are going to be unavoidably skewed.
That's going to be a very awkward conversation when they go, I'm sorry, we've lost him. Do you think he was satisfied with the...
Bad things for a by-election candidate to say.
I would like to kiss your baby, but we don't want to go down that road again.
I am the perfect candidate. This is an election, and I am bi.
Vote for me, Doris McGarvey. I'd like to say no relation, but...
I'm not going to lie to you. Power gives me wood.
I've been knocking on doors in this constituency for weeks, and it's completely unconnected to the recent stranglings.
Knife crime must end. Just last week, I was given a steak knife when I clearly ordered the fish.
If elected, living standards will go up. For me and my wife.
I would say The fact that the Labour Party haven't put forward a candidate has not devalued this election at all. Ask my fellow opponents, Timmy Mallet, Elvis and the Honey Monster.
I promise to bring crime in this constituency down by patrolling the streets at night dressed as a man leopard.
I have impeccable green credentials because I've never used deodorant or had a bath.
I know nothing about politics, but I can crush a right pair between my buttocks.
It has been the most relentlessly negative on both side campaigns. Like whatever. Genuinely, very, very quick quiz, right? As to who said it. Do we say or do we go, right? Do we remain, do we leave? Who threatened what, right? Britain be landed with a £2.4 billion bill. Is it if we remain or if we leave?
That's leave.
No, that's if we remain. According to Boris Johnson, Britain lose 3 million jobs if we remain or if we leave.
Leave.
Yeah, that's very good. That's what the Remain campaign said. The value of homes will drop by a fifth if we remain or if we leave.
Oh, that was on Homes Under the Hammer.
Yes. There'll be fewer curry chefs if we remain or if we leave. There will be fewer curry chefs.
Curry, that famously European dish.
Do you think if we leave?
Enough, you stole our country, white people! Carry on.
If you say leave, it's if we remain. According to Priti Patel, the Leave campaign, they'll be starved of high-quality chefs by immigration policy. It'll cost each household £9,000 a year. Remain or leave?
Remain said that.
Remain said that, you're right, not leave. Are you following all this?
The only word I understood from that was curry. I've got no idea.
Even to the extent that people go, the value of homes in the UK will drop by a fifth, and then lots of people went, oh, great. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? Because then people can afford to buy homes. Oh, we hear about people not being able to afford to buy homes. No, it's a bad thing. Oh, it's a bad thing now. OK, wait, yeah, is it a bad thing? We don't even know if things are good or bad.
One of the worries for Brexit, one of the big fears they've got is that Europe keeps on expanding. So they keep on adding countries. And there is some, there is some worry about that because Australia came second in Eurovision.
I think the problem... Well, you've got this John Major having a go at Boris Johnson, which is a blue on blue, did they call that?
Yeah.
I didn't understand what that was, and I was going to Google it, but then I thought, I don't know what kind of porn I'm going to tell. The last thing I want to do is go, oh, Anthony Costa, you're better than that.
It's Smurfs. It's the magic flute.
What I mainly feel about it, though, is that basically we have got to make this last 3 weeks on this programme.
Yes.
We can't use all these jokes now. This effectively for us is tantric satire. Very easy.
OK. We're going to hold back. All right. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is health. Who wants to come in on that? Annie Parsons.
Leslie Ash. Now, she's just got compensation, didn't she? Because she got MRSA. The reason she was in hospital, right, was apparently she'd punctured a lung and broken 2 ribs during energetic sex. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking she was doing it wrong. If somebody said to me, would you like to have sex, but it could end up in you puncturing your lung, I think I'd go, oh, you go ahead, I'll sort myself out.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is George Bush. Who wants to come in?
Oh, I'll go. Well, what can I say about George Bush? He's doing a tremendous job and he's enormously popular right now. In the last poll in the United States, he came in just behind testicular cancer. He's the only president I can remember who wears an American flag pin on his lapel. Why? So he can remember what country he's in charge of? Ladies and gentlemen of America, he's always banging on about 9/11, right? 9/11, 9/11. Or, as the rest of the world knows it, 11/9. We're the only people who date that way. America's so arrogant because we put the month first. We think everybody knows what we mean. Imagine how perplexing that is to people in France. 9/11. What happened on November 9th? That was a good day. I got a hand job. Why are they crying all the time? Thank you.
Great crew. OK, that leaves us with Frankie and Fred. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is modern men. Who wants to come in on that? Fred McCauley.
There's a trend for modern young men now to get waxed. I did recently have my legs waxed. I have to say it was for charity. And my pals were saying, have you ever had that done before, Macaulay? And I'm going, no. Well, it could be painful. So I went along. I was ticket number 14. There were 13 ladies in front of me getting their legs waxed. And I was watching them with interest. And it seemed to be no bother at all. The wax is going on. It's kind of, oh, Joanne. What is it, Tess? Who's picking the kids up? Oh, the au pair will get them. Nothing to it, I think. I got up there. The wax was on. I'll never walk again! What I didn't know is that women, when they're getting their legs waxed, have epidurals beforehand. I mean, I'm not tempted, you know, to shave other parts of my anatomy, you know. I've been lonely and fed up in hotel rooms, but I've never once thought, I think I'll get the sharpest thing in my toilet bag out and apply it to the wrinkliest part of my anatomy. And I'm not talking about my elbows.
Fred McCauley. OK, let's see who we've been left with for Frankie. Let's spin the wheel. Children.
What an unbelievably sinister photograph. Don't worry, this is light-hearted whimsy. I've got a wee baby now, he's 9 months. I'm starting to get a bit fucking sick of him, to be honest. I went to the birth, and going to the birth, it really does bring home the wonder, the miracle, I suppose, that is contraception. Seriously, don't go. It's like watching the deleted scenes from Platoon. I got a wee daughter now, she's 4, and the other day, this is true, we're sitting having breakfast, and my daughter goes, Daddy, what's the best thing in the world? So I didn't even have to think about it, right? I said, darling, you're the best thing in the world. Didn't even have to think about it. It's definitely you. And she sat there for a bit, and then she went, for me, it's sausages.
Ladies and gentlemen, that round, the points go to Frankie and Greg. The topic is safety. Away you go.
I'd like to say to the old man who was wearing camouflage and using crutches who stole my wallet earlier, you can hide, but you can't run. Of course, these days, a lot of people are putting poison on the menu of restaurants in the hope that French people think it's fish. My dad's answer to everything was alcohol. He didn't drink, he was just very bad at quizzes. I only have access to my son on Saturdays. Well, he fell under the floorboards of a synagogue. And I would like to see a world without plagiarism. You may say I'm a dreamer. But I'm not the only one. You see, my friends, if I had a crystal ball, I'd sit down very carefully. They say that putting mud on your face is good for your skin, but I saw a sign the other day that said sewage treatment works.
Yeah.
Trust me, it doesn't.
Now, we play a round called Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Stand-Up. This game involves Simon, Greg and Mickey, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is fatherhood. Who wants to come in on that? Greg.
Yeah, my father has taken fatherhood in a very strange direction in the last few years. And it started about 3 years ago at Christmas when he announced to me, and this is a quote, and all of what I'm about to tell you is entirely real. This happened. He said to me, "Son, I am 72. I said, "I'm aware of that." He said, "Yes. I've decided from now on I shall start behaving exactly as I see fit." And I said, "Well, I would welcome that." He said, "I'm glad you agree, because when you come home for Christmas, you'll discover this year that I am wearing a Christmas outfit." I went, "All right then." I got home and, true to his word, he was wearing a Christmas outfit. I swear to you, it was one giant pair of white underpants that stretched from his knees to just below his nipples, and a novelty Santa hat with a flashing bulb on the end. And he came downstairs, and this is a quote, "Do you like?" I said, "I find it a bit challenging." He said, "I don't give a shit what you think." And he went off to eat some cheese. This is where it gets weird. I went out that night with some of the people in my hometown. Midnight, anticipating me coming home, my mother tells me he did this. He went upstairs in his banter outfit. He went to my mother's sheet drawer, for she has one. He took out a double white sheet, he placed that over his head, he went out into their garden and he hid in a bush. With a view to giving me, his then 40-year-old son, a bit of a scare. Presumably, my mother is so sick of his shit, she decided not to tell him something that she full well knew, that on that occasion, I'd stayed over at a friend's house.
Well done. First up is language. Who wants to come in on that? Chris.
Language, apparently, was developed by humans to help them during hunting. That's what people will tell you. I don't buy that. I think language is more likely to have developed spontaneously, probably between a cave couple who were just furious with each other, incandescent with rage, but completely incapable of expressing their emotion, just standing opposite each other in the cave mouth going until something had to give. And one of them finally snapped and went, "You prick!" And they all went, "Oh, it's all coming out now, isn't it? Never clean this cave up. This place is a tip." "Well, why didn't you say something before?" "Well, I couldn't, could I?" "You're a pig, you are. My mother warned me about you." "Oh, really? How?" The Bantu languages of the southern African peoples, they speak with a system of clicks and tuts, this kind of using their throat and their tongue, and constantly surrounded by horses they've no need of. It's a nightmare for them. Bantu for go away horse is they're screwed, really, isn't it?
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is home life. Who wants to come in on that? Sarah.
My home life involves no children. I don't really like children. And if you ask, most of my female friends don't have kids. If you ask any woman who doesn't have kids what would worry them about having kids, the answer would always be childbirth. From what I understand of childbirth, it changes you downstairs, doesn't it? It changes you downstairs. I quite like my downstairs the way it is, thanks very much. Certainly don't want an extension. But it's bound to change, though, isn't it? Because you're forcing a person out. That's what you're doing. You're forcing a person out. I've never forced a person out. I forced a couple in. But but I was in a shop recently and this little boy came running over to me, put his hand in mine and shouted, "Mammy!" And I thought, oh, sometimes forget me keys, but I think I'd remember that. And then his dad came over and I thought, I wonder if this is the best chat-up line ever. And his dad's going to go, "No, no, that's not your mammy. Remember, your mammy left us because my willy's too big."
This round is called Dating Videos. The players take on the identity of a famous newsmaker and record a Lonely Hearts video in the style of that person. Everyone else has to try and guess who they are. So Hugh, you're up first. Please make your way over to the performance area and show us your dating video.
One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I do eventually hope to be able to count higher than that. Let me paint you a picture of myself. I can do that. I've got an art A level. Well, I'm a pretty cool guy. I don't smoke. Well, you know, nothing legal anyway. I support charities. I like to wear a wristband. Oh no, I like to wear an armband. Make minorities history. And I'm a redhead, which I get from my father, apparently.
Who is it?
Oh, Prince Harry.
It is, of course, Prince Harry. Well done, Hugh. Sit down. Congratulations. Now we play a round called I'm So Brexcited and I Just Can't Hide It. This game involves Nish and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is the movies. Who wants to go in that? Nish.
I'm a big movie fan, and I'm very excited that there's going to be a new James Bond. Now, my pick personally would be Idris Elba. I think he'd be an amazing James Bond, but some people are very unhappy. I was reading an article about this, and the first comment under the article started with the words, "This is not a race thing." Which immediately makes you think, it's definitely a race thing. This is not a race thing, it's just James Bond is not black. Now, I've got terrible news for this person. James Bond is not real. He's not a real person. He doesn't exist. If you're talking about fidelity to Ian Fleming's original character, Daniel Craig has a smartphone and a laptop, and in one of the Pierce Brosnan films, he drove an invisible car. So it might be a bit late if you just suddenly become a stickler for canon. And the second comment started with the words, "This is political correctness gone mad. This is the ethnic minority lobby getting their way again." And hey, we all know if the ethnic minority lobby's been campaigning for anything, it is for a black James Bond. People have been out in the streets. We want a black James Bond now. We don't care about police brutality. All we care about is 007. Hashtag Black Bonds Matter. We will settle for a Mexican, maybe. And who can forget the immortal words of Dr. Martin Luther King? I have a dream that one day a black man will play a fake spy.
Thank you very much. Well done, Nish. The first subject is politics. Oh, Nish.
So, we're living through a real period of political instability, both here and in America. And in the last couple of months, some unlikely saviours have emerged. Tony Blair is considering a return to frontline politics, and Chelsea Clinton is contemplating a run for the Senate in 2020. And to those people, let me just say this. Maybe just leave it. If you want to turn your public opinion around, the way to do it is philanthropy, right? And let's look at someone who has turned their public opinion around through philanthropy. Look at Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates, for the last 15 years, with his wife Melinda, has spent all his time trying to fight the spread of infectious disease. I don't understand the science behind what's going on. From what I can tell, Bill Gates is trying to bribe AIDS to fuck off, right? And we like him for that. But in the 90s, we hated Bill Gates because of the paperclip. Basically, there was a paperclip, and you turn on Word and the paperclip would appear, and it would ask you if you're writing a letter, but you weren't writing a letter. So you're like, I hate you, Bill Gates! I'm gonna buy a Mac forever! And there are people genuinely putting their money where their mouth is in regards to philanthropy. Look at J.K. Rowling. We all need to be very nice to J.K. Rowling from now on, because she may be about to be all we've got economically. We have no manufacturing sector. Our service industry has been driven by mass migration from the EU. After Brexit, our entire economy may depend on the adventures of a fake wizard that technically ended in 2007, right? We got the play, we got the films, we got the film tour. Can we do a play tour? JK, please write another book. Wales is sinking. Maybe something about Harry trying to get his finances in order in his 30s, like Harry Potter and the Mystery of the Fixed Rate ISA.
Thank you very much, Nish. This game involves Nish and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is health. Who wants to come out? Nish.
I had a bit of a health emergency last year. I was doing the washing up and I cut my hand. I was washing up and I pushed my hand into a glass. The glass shattered and it slashed my hand here, and I had to go to hospital. And let me tell you this, the NHS staff are incredible. They're really nice to me. They're really sweet. One of them called me a brave boy. Which is good because I was being one, so I don't know what you're laughing at, OK? I'm the one with the badge. Anyway, before I did that, I did something which I probably regret doing. I called NHS 111. Now, if you don't know what this service is, it's a service the government has brought in to replace NHS Direct. So if you have a non-life-threatening emergency, you're supposed to dial 111 on your phones. Now, I'm sure that these people are very nice, but based on my experience, they have proportionately less skill than their numerical value compared to 999, because it was the blind leading the blind. At one point, she said, "How is the blood?" And I said, "Red," because I had no idea. Then she said, "Is there a lot of blood?" I said, "Yes," because there was a lot of blood. And she said, "Is there enough to fill a mug?" I've got no idea. I don't wish to brag. I have a lot of different mug sizes in my house. Also, while this was happening, I was just panicking. I wasn't decanting the blood in that it can be poured back into my body at a later date. Then she said, "Is the blood flowing or oozing?" I said, "I have no idea what the difference is between those two things is." And she said, "Oh, there's a difference." And I was like, "I'm not getting into a semantic debate with you while blood is gushing out of my hand." And she just went, "Gushing, thank you very much."
Well done, Nish, come on. Okay, so that leaves Nish. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is race.
I'll take this one, Reece. Difficult and interesting time to be a non-white person living in Britain right now. But I think things are improving, especially to be a non-white comedian. Because 10 years ago, I got some advice from a former agent. She said, "Nish, you should stop mentioning on stage that you're not white." And I was like, people are gonna know. I'm not exactly flying under the radar race-wise here. So a couple of weeks later, I got offered an audition in a sitcom. Now, that part required me to do what was cheerfully referred to in the script as the accent, right? Weren't talking about French, were they? Now, when that came in, I said, "There's absolutely no way that I'm going to do that. It's cheap, it's Uncle Tom, it's selling out my entire cultural heritage." And she said, "This is the problem with you, Nish. You take too high-minded approach. You'll never be successful in comedy because you will never do comedy that relates to the man in the factory." And when she said that, I said, I don't really relate to your paradigm of the man in the factory. I think what you're trying to say is that I should appeal to as high a percentage of the British population as possible. But in the 80s, we shifted from a manufacturing to a service-based economy. So actually, if you wanted to talk about most of the British public, what you should have said is the man who works in the shop or the man who works in a hotel. And she said, I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Thank you very much, Chris. Points in the line go to Rhys James. Come back.
OK, the next subject, please. Let's spin the wheel. Next subject is science. Who wants to come in that? Chris Harrison.
I'll tell you the problem with science, right? The problem with science is it refuses to speak the language of those of us who don't understand science, right? Even when it's the job of science to be talking to us numpties, it can't bring itself to speak as we do. Pick up a packet of paracetamol, right? Look at the instructions on the back of that. It says, for the treatment of neuralgia, fibrositis, muscular whatever. We don't talk like that. If that talked anything like us, that would say, for the treatment of the worst headache I've ever had in my life. A pain in my side, I'm sure actually is cancer this time. My wife's had to help me out of the car. It's coming out of both ends like someone's hit a pan of chocolat with a mallet. That is how we talk, right? But it doesn't. We can't tell what's actually science and what is some hokey nonsense dressed up as science to, you know, entice us in. That's why cosmetics companies, whenever they bring out a new thickness of goop, right, they give it a kind of sciencey name so we'll be all dazzled. Nivea DN-Age. OF off. Right? Avon's new cream is called a Nugenics. What? A Nugenics, right? That's been through marketing, that's been through focus groups, design. Did nobody at any point go, a Nugenics? You don't think that sounds a bit Third Reich-y, maybe? What next? New pro-genocide, now with anti-Semitox. Sandra, can I borrow your ethnic cleanser?
Well done, Chris Hanson. And that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is the USA.
So I've just come back from America, apparently. While I was there, I saw one of those very, 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 very large Americans. He said he fitted kitchens. I said, I bet you don't. I went up to this girl, I said, what's your name? She said, Chantal. I said, well, if you're not going to tell me your name... I said, what do you do for a living? She said, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there. I said, I hope you're not a travel agent. When I was in America, I bought tickets for the Bears versus the Cowboys. Bit of a disappointment. I want to see Bears versus Cowboys. So then I bought tickets for the Giants versus the Jets. Another missed opportunity. Then I bought tickets for the Packers versus the Dolphins. Get in the box, get in the box.
Thank you very much. Points for everyone there. Let's all get back. Come on. Okay, the next topic is unlikely things to say when running for US president.
I'm Hillary Clinton, and if you elect me the first female president of the United States, I promise you that on my first day in the White House, I will hire a very attractive male intern. He will be on his knees, not having sexual relations with me all day. Hashtag payback, hashtag long game.
I want to go to Washington. Why? I want to see what color the White House is.
No, we can't!
The name Clinton is in the DNA of the White House. In fact, the DNA of Clinton are on the walls of the White House.
I know the value of family because I sold one of my children to pay for this campaign.
As president, I will welcome immigrants because the White House is massive and it's not going to clean itself.
I will govern for all of this country. Not just the metropolitan cities on the coast, but also you cousin shaggers down south.
I would like to introduce you to my new Homeland Security advisor. Say hi, Lamb Chop.
Hi.
Come on, of course I'm the guy to succeed Obama. You know what they say? Once you go black.
If you elect me America's first colourblind president, I will do everything I can to uphold the values of the brown, white and green.
I would now like to talk to you people in a language of my own devising.
I want to put more boots on the ground in Afghanistan, and also 2 more branches of paper chase.
What you must remember is the people we need to convince are the great American people. And most of them are as thick as pig shit.
I'd like to apologise for Mr. Trump, which is what I say when I've just farted in bed.
When I was little, I did not plan to be President of the United States. This is more like a holding job until I get to rule a good country.
I am American through and through. Cut me, and I will shoot you in the face.
I wish to have no secrets in this campaign. I wish to be completely open, and it is done. That is why I'm going to start that again, because I fucked that up.
We Republicans want to reach out to all Americans. Blacks, whites, Chinese-y-looking ones.
I want to have no secrets in this campaign, and that is why I have gathered you here tonight to tell you I shot JFK.
Okay, give that round of applause to Ed, Sarah and Andy. Yes, and the question I was looking for is how long was Major Tim Peake on the International Space Station before he returned to Earth this week? Yes, there he's in a deck chair, not doing a tap.
But the only reason he come back was because the Russian bloke on the space station stuck up behind him in it on the end of a bar stool.
I watched the news report about it, but I'm hard of hearing, so I used the subtitles, and it genuinely said that he was up in space for 6 months without gravy, and it took me ages to realise they meant gravity. To be fair, he was without both, and I couldn't do it, you know.
I mean, there's that anti-gravy machine they have.
Sorry, I just realised there's a fucking box under my... No wonder I've got no space. Look at this.
What is it?
Just found that. The old shark guy, it's a bit tight down here, isn't it?
What artefacts have you discovered?
I don't know. And I've dropped my drink. This is an absolute nightmare. I've done the carpet, I'm afraid.
He set a lot of records while he was in space, didn't he, Tim Peake?
He did.
But it was kind of like, once he got into space, that was the hard part, and then just everything he did he was the first person to do it in space. It was just like, he was the first person to get on the New Year's Honours List in space. He was the first person to do a marathon in space. It's just, once you get into space, that's you. It's like, if I got into space, I could set records for first man to clean his glasses on his underpants. In space, you know.
He did run a marathon up there, didn't he? And I thought I'd run a marathon if I had an option to float bits of it.
Just set the treadmill on really fast. I'll just hover above it.
I haven't hit the wall yet. When's the wall coming?
Let's go, be honest. This is so difficult. I've done 4 miles already.
He did the marathon. He didn't do any football because they wouldn't have got past the coin toss.
What did he do up there?
He did experiments up there.
He basically did media. Oh, he didn't have the time to do experiments.
Media. He did 6 months of experiments.
What experiments did he do?
250 different experiments of different things in zero gravity, yeah.
Rob, he's a decent guy. Don't you think Americans are watching it, though? I mean, it's incredibly, you know, we're excited, but the Americans must be watching it going, you are literally 40 years behind us.
There were Americans as well, you know, on this. That's all the Americans are doing as well.
Are you going to shut down every comical notion we bring to you now? Yes, but he was in space, so leave him alone.
Respect the spaceman.
I love science, and everything's OK, because it's science. I will not have a joke said about astronauts. Just because he's gone up there and done experiments, I don't know exactly what they are, I've just been told.
You think he's bluffing that actually...
He's on a blank, mate. He's been up there.
The slightly sad thing about it, he's the first British astronaut, but he is representing the European Space Agency, isn't it? So if there is Brexit, the next British astronaut is going to be in a hot air balloon on a very long...
I think he deserves all the honours he's getting, because it is a dangerous mission to get that much closer to the sun when you're that ginger.
It was sort of ridiculous that when the guy from the European Space Agency said, well, you know, how will he feel? He said, well, I think he's going to be a bit shocked by gravity. You think he's got a very short memory, isn't he?
He's been up there 6 months, like, with no atmosphere, so to ease him back in, they've taken him to the new Top Gear studio. Take that, Chris Evans.
The first comment when it came out was that the Earth smelt really strongly of Earth, and everybody sort of shuffled uncomfortably and went, that's just Kazakhstan.
I like the way he said, I'm looking forward to spending some time with my wife and having my first shower for 6 months. Like, other way round, mate. That's it. Unless she likes him a bit gamey. So I'll do it the other way round.
So how do they wash in space?
They get a cloth. They wash
just
with a cloth.
Just with a cloth?
With a cloth, yeah.
Dirty bastard.
Yes, sir.
So would you like to go in space?
Yeah, no, it's really... I found... Oh, hello. Jesus Christ. What are the fucking flies?
Oh, Tim Peake's not here, is he? Smelly bastard Tim Peake's not turned up with us.
Love a quiz. It is our Liz quiz. Obviously, we'd like
the expense that has been spent on that.
I really want to thank you for coming in and recording that little wave. What 2 common documents does the Queen not have?
The Da Vinci Code. And Life of Pi. Next.
Yes. Oh, the rest of them, she has them all.
She doesn't have a driving licence.
She doesn't have a driving licence,
no. Although she has qualified to drive.
Yes, she has. She can drive. She was trained to drive in the army, as far as I know.
She did, yeah. She stripped down engines and everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Passport.
There's no driving licence and is the only person in the country who doesn't need a passport, as they're issued in her name. And so she cannot issue in her own name because, you know... But I think she's relatively good on the ID front because she just take out a tenner and go... oh, you don't get this? Go send a letter, bitch. What did the Queen invent with a dachshund and a corgi?
A dorgie.
Yes!
Is it?
Yes, it is.
I was joking.
She invented a breed of dog called the Dorgie.
Which you say she invented it? What, she was there going, right, you put that in there now.
She didn't invent it, though, did she?
According to this card, yes, she did.
She couldn't have gone on Dragon's Den.
One needs £30,000 for 40%. It's always 40%. That's all they ever want, no matter how much you go say initially. 8%, 40. It's commonly known that the Queen owns the UK swans. Commonly known that the Queen owns the UK swans, says here. But what other water-based animals does she also have the right to own?
Ducks.
Not ducks, no.
Shopping trolleys. I think it's... Is it dolphins?
It is. It's dolphins, whales and
pretty big
sturgeons.
on the royal family. I know a lot of stuff.
You really are, actually. It's quite worrying. Anything, dolphins, whales and sturgeons within 3 miles of the UK, they're hers.
Do the dolphins know, or do they just stray in and then that's it?
If they get too close, she's in a speedboat constantly, all right? Just patrolling that 3-mile limit around the country, right?
With her army of swans.
With her army of swans who work to track them.
When she does that wave, she's actually doing a fin motion to summon her dolphin army.
Army of dolphins, assemble! I come to do with an army of dolphins. I want £40,000 for 35% of the company.
I have invented a swolfin.
The first subject is... In the week in which the Oscar nominations were revealed, rejected lines from movies.
E.T. phone premium rate set.
Milk, bread, rich tea biscuits. Are you sure this is the right list, Mr. Schindler?
There are 50,000 Zulu outside. Now tell Jade to get back inside and keep her bloody mouth shut.
This T-1000 cybernetic organism has encountered a problem and needs to close. Do you wish to send an error report?
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, but on weekends, Marjorie.
A census taker tried to test me once. I ate his liver with some fish fingers and a bottle of Jacob's Creek.
Good morning, Cheltenham!
Well, there's one thing I should tell you, Mr. Darcy. I have chlamydia.
What, Rambo? You want to wait for a UN resolution?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. But thank you for phoning the BT helpline.
Luke Skywalker, I am your mother.
We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Ed, which category would you like?
Sport, please.
OK, the category is sport, and the answer is 33. What is the question?
Is it how many pages in a Game of Thrones script are just the word tits in massive letters?
What is the emoticon for 2 women in a queue?
Is it the number of women I slept with in my 20s plus 32?
Is it how many children you have to qualify for a family ticket at Mormon Centre Parks?
Is it at what age did I finally accept that I would never play the Milky Bar Kid?
You really want to do that? Dream diet.
I've got 3 years to go.
Finally accepted.
Okay. How many cans of Foster's can you drink and still be below under the limit? How can... Oh,
That's the way you wouldn't want to say it if you'd actually been stopped by the police. And how much have you had to drink? Well, how many Fosters can you have?
Under the limit, actually. I am below under the limit. Not above.
Is it after how many miles did one of the proclaimers ask if they were nearly there yet?
Surely they go, why are we both going? you're the only one who's going to shag her. Why am I joining you on this 500-mile journey?
You promised me she had a friend. Is that right?
Is it... if a minicab says that it's 5 minutes away, how minutes...
Holy... Oh! Don't talk bad about Uber.
Well, here, the minicab industry has long fingers, isn't it? You won't learn that today.
Well, from now on, I'm taking a black cab. There is a little bit of glass. Look, it's a little bit now.
Sue! Injuries at work!
Oh, my God. Have you been injured? You probably did the voiceover for those ads. Why did you ask yourself?
I had 33 Fosters and then the light exploded!
Now, I'm going to check with you. What do you think? They're happy.
They're happy.
Oh, they're happy.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Carry on. That's so easy for you to say. All right, OK. We're being shelled here.
Is it how many people are going to be sacked after that light explosion?
We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Matt, which category would you like?
World news, please.
OK, world news it is. The answer is petrol, money and drugs. What is the question?
Is it the 3 middle names of Princess Charlotte?
Is it what 3 things might a Greek keep in a chicken?
Is it what do gangsters play instead of rock, paper, scissors?
Is it what 3 things are keeping Keith Richards alive?
Is it what in the sound of music are the Von Trapp's family's real favourite things?
What are the 3 characters called on a packet of Colombian Rice Krispies?
Is it what 3 things are we being paid in this evening?
All together in one big bucket.
Yeah.
What will the motto be for the Qatar World Cup?
Is it complete the song? Hugh Pugh, Barney McGrew.
That scans. That probably scans very, very
well.
well.
A much better song, wouldn't it?
It would have been very good.
What are the 3 main aisles in a Bolivian Waitrose?
Do they know the correct answer?
You know that tattoo you got that you think says peace, love and harmony? Is it to do with Greece?
It is to do with Greece.
What 3 things that they wore in Greece are about to run out of?
Ah, very good. Thank you very much, Ed Byrne. That's excellent. Yes, the question I was looking for is what items are at risk of running out in Greece after Sunday's crucial vote on the EU's bailout terms? This is news as 61% of the Greek population voted against accepting the strict austerity measures proposed by the EU. There's now a real risk that the country will run out of money, fuel and medicine. So what does it all mean for Greece?
It's ridiculous now. The whole thing is just going on. It is like a soap opera. And I don't watch the Eurozone crisis now day to day. I wait till Sunday and I watch the omnibus edition.
This thing of just referring to the Greek exit as Gregxit, it just is like, are you in that much of a hurry that you couldn't say a 3rd syllable?
If the British exit happens, it's going to be called Brexit. It sounds like a cheap form of Lego, or what the Greek Prime Minister does every time he meets Angela Merkel.
I don't get this thing that you can... I didn't know that you could reject banks' demands. If I'd known that, my whole life would have been different. If I'd been able to go to the bank and go, well, I do owe you 10 grand, but I really like my lifestyle.
It could be, but it could be a mis-selling scandal, doesn't it? Because as far as I'm aware, Greece was never made to sign that box that said your home is at risk if you do not keep up the repayments.
You think they're waiting for the PPI?
Yeah, I think
the
they'll
400 quid of PPI. Yeah. That's the one thing that will bail them out of this.
Apparently the Greek government have admitted that living in their past is their Achilles heel.
No one was expecting that reaction.
No. Oxy, they went. Oxy to that. I think it's definitely a case that if they want to get bail themselves out, like whatever, they really just have to invoke copyright law on all the stuff they invented some time ago now, right? But that they definitely invented, like democracy, triangles and gays. And if they...
Philosophy as well. The birthplace of philosophy, isn't it?
Or was it?
Yes. Or you
Who
know,
knows?
well...
Why do you think that there is a professional philosopher at home going, that's not what philosophy is? It's not just going, or is it?
I think there's a lot of opportunities in Greece, actually. I'm going to start a band called Cash Machine, because people will be queuing around the block. But we've been told if we go on holiday to Greece that we should take lots and lots of money with us.
Yes.
To rub it in?
I think it's to pay your kidnappers.
I think there's a ploy behind the telling tourists to bring as much cash with them as they possibly can, because they know there'll be a load of overweight, old British tourists there with massive bum bags of cash round the front. They're basically just sitting human ATM machines. That's all they are.
Do muggers line up behind the tourists? One of them goes, no, €60 each.
Yeah.
There is a limit for mugging these people. That's it. Who have scientists discovered in a cave this week?
I'm so excited about this story, but I can't pronounce the name, and I'm worried about... I know they're not here to get offended.
They're not.
The Homo naledi, or naladi.
Nadali. Homo nadali. Yeah.
Nadali.
Homo naledi. Just think of...
No, can we just say with that moment where he corrected your pronunciation by getting the word completely wrong? Can we all just enjoy that for a second?
It's impossible to say it. I was probably
without
doing the milady.
Give it its full name. It's Homo naledi no cry.
The reason I love this story is so they found a few bodies from 100 years apart in a cave.
Oh.
This guy, this idiot.
That's a Homo naledi. The find was announced last Thursday by the South African University of the Witwatersrand, National Geographic and the UK science journal eLife. That is a spooky cover of the National Geographic, yes.
Yeah, they have your hooded eyes there.
But the thing is, this is all...
I would find it very hard to believe if the production staff of the show had not done a photograph of that and made it look like you.
I would like to think that. Why? No. I am not doing the face.
Well, listen, I'll tell you one thing. I am not getting on that megabus.
Now that, I think, is a thing.
I think we know where this is going now, don't we?
Yeah, there we go. Wow.
You look the happiest out of all three.
Next round of call is This Is the Answer. What is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Dane, which category would you like?
I'll take sport, please.
Sport, OK.
Yes.
Your category is sport. The answer is 24. What is the question?
What's my age when it comes to young person's rail cards forever?
That's not the correct answer, but it's a good scheme.
Is it the number of people Jesus could have sat at the Last Supper if he'd used both sides of the table?
Is it, according to Nigel Farage, how many of the Turkish population will be living in Turkey in 2020?
Is it how many English hooligans you need to take down one Russian ultra?
Is it, once the initial novelty has worn off, how many times a day does the average person regret buying that cuckoo clock?
Is it the age at which porn films think you're a MILF?
How many dance troupes was I kicked out of for being too edgy?
How many more movies are left in the Fast and Furious franchise?
Is it how many people in France went to work this morning?
Is it after what age is life just an increasingly speedy descent into despair?
Is it when an English person and a European person share an advent calendar, how many chocolates does the English person think they deserve?
Is it, on average, how many hours sleep do you get every night when you're dead?
It sounds nice. It's not that. No, it's not that. No,
This one's about football, isn't it? Is it how many teams are in the Euros?
Yes, it
yes,
is.
Please.
Well done. The subject is junk food. Russell.
Hello. Am I allowed to take this out? Or do I have to...
Go for it.
Slick. There was an amazing thing the other day. Apparently 15% of 2 to 11-year-olds in England are now obese, and the government's going to ban telly adverts of junk food till 9 o'clock so the kids can't watch. And you find yourself screaming at the telly, if your 2-year-old's obese, that isn't telly's fault, that's your fault. How can you possibly ban the adverts? Ban your fanny until you can look after what plops out of it. That is unbelievable. There's ways and means. My dad invented something, right, to make us eat our dinner. My sister would never eat it. She was like, no, it looks disgusting, Dad, no way to eat it, right? My dad invented something called the dinner witch. So, my sister was like, it looks disgusting. My dad would wink at me. I'd pop outside, ding dong, on the doorbell. My dad would then look into my sister's 8-year-old face and go, oh, Kerry, who could that be? During dinner time, with your plate still so full. I don't suppose it could be the dinner witch. At which point, my sister would go, slick.
Protest marches. Who's up first? Any come in and protest?
Yeah.
Russell.
OK. The only protest march I went on the Countryside Alliance March. I'm not pro or anti-fox hunting. I just quite like watching posh people get beaten up. I know it's wrong, but if you can find me a more glorious noise than then I'll happily listen. Come on, it's going to be fun, isn't it? And it's just so much fun baiting right-wing people. What do you think about fox hunting? I'll tell you what I think. If we didn't chase the fox, the entire bloody country would be overpopulated by foxes. Is that what you want, some hideous land of the foxes? Me, unable to leave my house and fear a fox wandering up to me, stabbing me in the gizzards? Is that what you desire? Looking across my lawn to see fox upon fox, prowling along my paddock, flicking the V's at me, walking hand in hand with asylum seekers? Is that what you want?
OK, the topic is air travel. Who wants to come in on that?
I'll do that.
Russell.
My favourite story about air travel, there was a bloke a little while ago who got put in prison for 3 days because he refused to stop kissing his boyfriend on a plane flight to South Africa. How magic's that? You can't help but picture him dressed entirely in latex, you know, surrounded by a sea of Burberry on an EasyJet flight. All right, lads, I'm going to make this tense for you. Ramon, let's do the bad thing. Do you want to stop doing that? I'm trying to read Nuts magazine. Whatever. Stop doing that. It's not natural. You're flying.
The subject is leisure. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I don't quite know how that signifies leisure. How has that old man got her? That's a joke. Anyways, we've got more disposable income now than ever, right? And this is quite an odd story, but my mum recently bought a hot tub. Now, I don't know if anyone else... It's quite exciting when your mum gets hot. She put it at the bottom of the garden, you get quite giddy, and then you're in it, and then you realise you're actually just outside having a bath with your mum. And it's a very you've got no recollection of how to behave, right? And I've got a slightly lazy eye, so my mum said, are you looking at my thighs? No. It gets freakier. My dad jumped in, my brother jumped in, my sister jumped in, and 2 of our family dogs leapt into the pool, right? So we're all on the edge, like really British, terrified, we're all naked. Dogs are just going around like that. Having the time of their life, right? And my mum just chose this moment to embarrass us, just looked up and went, hey, guess what? Well, she wasn't doing a dog impression, that would have been weird, right? She went, guess what everyone in this hot tub's got in common? I don't know, Mum, what? That's a dog hitting me, right? My mum looked up and went, everybody in this hot tub has sucked my tits.
OK, the first subject is street protesters. Can I have a volunteer talk about that?
I'll do that, Dara. Nation. So, I love street protesters, they're fantastic. The best I saw, there's a lovely old lady who, since the war in Iraq started, she stands outside the Bristol Hippodrome with a big sign that says, toot if you're anti-war. And if you drive past her and go, ha, she does this. Now, I'm not sure, I've made her leap many times. I don't know if I'm anti-war or really pro-pensioner leaping. You know, when you kind of go, why am I doing this? Ha, stop it! Nah, do it! They're everywhere, they're brilliant. There's a bloke that I saw the other day, you know, one of those religious godbotherers, it's fantastic, just with a loud hailer, just pointing at people running, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. Everyone was freaked out, 2 goths delighted, that's a separate issue, but... He pointed at me and I was freaked out, and then he did something wonderful. He pointed at this really strutting black guy. I don't know why the fact that he's black made it cooler, but it really did, right? Pointed at it, went, you're going to hell. Without missing a beat, this bloke just went, no, mate, HMV. And he just sat there going,
well done, Russell Howard. The next topic is the body beautiful. Who wants to come in on that?
We come in all shapes and sizes, don't we? Right. Good example, my mum has recently joined an under 5 foot club, you know. I'm not lying, you haven't seen a prettier sight until you've seen a load of tiny ladies sat around a table, their feet barely touching the floor. Sat there, because they're all under 5 foot, convinced they've got the same things in common. They haven't, right? The only thing they've got in common, when you hoover near them, they don't have to lift their legs. That's pretty much it, right? And there's a really amazing old lady there called Sue, who's about 80, and she's got a prosthetic hand. Now, we got chatting, right, and when she first went to school, the state of prosthetics was so poor, she actually went to school with a full-size man hand. As if your first day at school isn't terrifying enough. We're going to get bullied. There's your hand. You'll grow into... What do you mean I'll grow into it? I'm a little girl, I'm not Gordon Banks. What's that?
There's a Russell Howard. Men's health is the next top, as represented by the knee. The window on the man's soul, the knee.
Well, we've all been there, let's be honest. Jesus. And it's got quite a nice pant ferret there, which is a bit of hair. Never mind. Hey, we all call it our pan ferret, don't we, children? Men's health, basically, it's quite an embarrassing story. Because it's terrifying when you go to the doctors, and you're so scared. I turn into a 6-year-old boy. I'm totally unable to explain what's wrong with me. I'm like, doctors like that, what's wrong with you? Who did this to you? Dragons. And you're sat there, terrified. 3 times in my life, I've been convinced I've got testicular cancer. Every single time, it's been an ingrowing hair. It's, yeah, funny. It's getting to the stage. I need something terminal just to stop me looking like a massive pervert. You know, it's that... There's no way of getting comfy when you're having your balls checked, because the doctor's like, obviously my balls aren't that big. If you sat there and go, well, you do appear to have a problem, Mr. Howard. You appear to have camel's gonads. But you don't know where to put your hands, you know? You can't sort of do that or anything. I toyed with the idea of doing that firmly. I wish I'd been courageous enough just to go... But I didn't. I sat there like a timid T-Rex as my penis gently shrunk. And it's horrible, because the only good thing about going to the doctors is the ladies' magazines. You know, it's always the same. I found love in Falaraki. The most orange woman you've ever seen. Like morph in a frock, clinging on to some terrified waiter. He gives me love 24/7. Cut your own fish fingers, Darren. He's a keeper. You're literally flicking through. When you get to the middle, that's when it gets properly ridiculous. There's always some woman staring at that. There's a ghost in my womb. I was walking downstairs. It flew out me vulva. It were Henry VIII.
And that's the only good thing about going to the doctors. Thank you very much for your time.
The subject is national identity. Who wants to come forward? Russell.
Thank you. We're told to worry about national identity all the time. Like, Gordon Brown seems to be obsessed with British values. Have you noticed that? Kind of preaching British values. What are British values? Ultimately, we're all embarrassed and we laugh at stuff we shouldn't. That's pretty much it, isn't it? It's a forbidden giggle. You know when you're not allowed to laugh, but all you can think about doing is laughing. It's like when you see an old lady get hit by a frisbee. You know it's wrong. You know? The last time I saw that flag, it was a football game. England were playing Croatia, right? In Croatia, there was a bloke holding up the flag, right? Into which he'd sewn the words, "Go home, asylum seekers!" And you're like, how middle-class a hooligan are you? You're into bigotry and embroidery.
Good man, well done, Russell. The first topic is transport. Russell's straight in.
Hello. I had a car crash the other day. It was horrific. I hit this lady. She was in a car. She wasn't dressed as a bollard. It was so bad because I hit her and then I sort of walked out to say sorry. And how unlucky is this? She was staring at me with real fear. For some reason that morning, I decided to wear a Grand Theft Auto T-shirt. Now, there's no way you can make that worse unless you've got a beer in one hand going, not again. I've really got to buy a steering wheel.
Subject is the media. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
I'll do that. I'd see, you know, the way I like getting the news is Radio 5 Live. It's fantastic, 'cause it's just news and nutters, isn't it? They'll read out, like, that was the Pope's view on abortion, and then, hello, Felicity Puddleduck here, livid and ill-informed. I'd just like to say those harlots who give birth to their children aged 2 that charge you to national service. I'm off to bake a cake. And sat there listening, and then the next night, David, are you out of your mind? Cloning? Think it through. 2 versions of me. Want to go out and commit a crime? Who gets blamed for it? Me! I'm doing a 20 string. He's banging my wife. Where's the justice? And you sat there listening to these nutters, and then the most ridiculous story. A man in Bristol's found the face of Jesus on a crisp. And suddenly, where with him? I couldn't believe how you put up my frazzles. There he was!
Russell Howard. The subject is charity. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
It's, cheer if anyone's ever given clothes to Oxfam. Fair enough. You whooped then. Woo, do we win a prize? No. It's a really odd feeling because you feel quite proud of yourself. Just wonder, where am I going? I'm off to save Africa. That's right. And you wander in, you just plop down your clothes. Always some lovely lady buying it anywhere. And there's a tiny part of you that gets really annoyed. You almost want to go, right! Well, we'll do that again, shall we? And this time you're going to act like you give a shit. It sounds bad, but there's a tiny part of you that wants to go, Sire, he brings goods. The chosen one has arrived. As you fling pants at orphans. Yippee, hurrah, will you ever be back in time, you needy tinkers? Banana dance.
Russell Howard. The first subject is homelessness. Who wants to come into that? Russ.
I had a really great incident with the homeless bloke the other day. That sounds fairly dodgy. It was really, it's weirdly uplifting. So I gave him £1 and I was kind of walking away and he went, "Oh, mate, I've got a magic dog." Now that is a sentence that buys you half an hour with me, right? And he had sickle down him, this dog, right? And the homeless bloke had sick down him as well. And I was like, "What happened?" And he went, "Oh, we was asleep in the skip and some bloke chucked up on us." It's the most depressing thing you've ever heard. And he just looked at me and went, "No, it was amazing." Like, really? Why is that? And apparently what he did, still covered in sick, he stood up in that skip and just went, "Ah!" So this bloke was so drunk he thought his vomit had come alive. That man will never, ever drink again. Beer, Dave, it comes alive! It comes alive! Lovely moment. Well done, Russell.
The subject is the West Country.
I'll say this.
Who? Russell.
How can you not love the West Country? I've genuinely seen graffiti in Bristol during the last Tory campaign. Do you remember, are you thinking what we're thinking? Somebody had written underneath it, "Is it, do I like Whatsits?" It's phenomenal.
It's wonderful, isn't it? I used to live there. I've moved away from Bristol because I was near a dogging site, which is just a bit odd, right? And, all right, I wasn't into it. I was just near a dogging site, right? And I was talking to my friend. I was like, Jane, why do they do dogging near the house, right? And she looked and went, apparently you got really great views of the Clifton Suspension Bridge. And you're like, well, you've got faith in humanity, haven't you? Just the idea that I tell you what, it's only when you're doing the nasty in a Cortina that you can truly appreciate the work of Isambard King of Brunei. That, my friend, is craftsmanship. Shall we? Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Arthur. The next topic is the media. Who wants to come in? Russell.
I'll be there. I think the papers are making this country a worse place to live. Don't you feel like that? Just the unremitting horror of the Daily Express. They must well just get rid of news and just have every day, don't go outside! It's full of queers, blacks and crime! Oh, if only Diana was here! And just sort of sat there going, come on. But they're all the same, you know? They're all the same. The Daily Mail every day. Asbo's Muslim speak, camera, Asbo's Muslim speak. The Sun, are you a pedo? Are you a pedo? Have a bang on her tit 16 today. Are you a pedo? You know? The Independent, you try and read it, it's like it's grabbing you by the throat. Are you recycling? Are you? You just killed a polar bear! You! All the while, the Guardian's in the corner fanning itself with a wall chart. You silly little things. Tell them, Telegraph. Cricket! Cricket! Too much.
British society.
Thanks. There's a lot of idiots about, aren't there? I was in a sauna the other day with some men, which, you know, let's forget about that part of the story, but there was this bloke who was just sat there going, I tell you what, this country's gone to the dogs. 5 years' time, guarantee it, this country, Sharia law. Everywhere you look, Sharia law. And his mate went, yeah, but the thing is, right, under that law, you can have 4 wives. And this bloke suddenly went, really? And you're like, make your mind up, mate. You Sid James or Enoch Powell. They're everywhere. Titties, ha-ha. He went mental. 4 wives, imagine the fun I'd have. 1 for every day of the week. It's wonderful when you see bigotry slapped, isn't it? I was on a train the other day. There was a bloke sat here, let's call him a dick, who was sat opposite a man of foreign persuasion, just go, why don't you go home, mate? Why don't you go home? And this hero looked back at this bloke and went, I am. That's why I'm on the train.
Next topic is drugs. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
Good laugh, mate. I get offered drugs loads. I was at Glastonbury this year, right? And this bloke came up to me. He was like, oh, mate, do you want some shrooms? And you're quite tempted, because everyone was like, it was amazing, man. Had a chat with the tree. Good guy. He was called Nathan. You'd love him. We could play racquetball Thursday week. What a chap. But you know, if you took mushrooms, you'd be the one who would have the story that would end up on the front page of the papers. Do you know what I mean? I killed a lollipop lady. She wouldn't let me lick it and I killed her. So in the end, right, it was really embarrassing. I had 3 packets of Starburst just shoving in front of my tummy, like, nom, 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 nom. I was like, my guts totally gave way, and this lovely old lady came up to me and was like, are you all right? Now, you've never known being truly pathetic until you've looked into the eyes of a kind stranger and gone, I've eaten too many sweets.
And the topic is relationships. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
Britain, I have sexual advice for you. That's right. When I was 18, I used food in the bedroom. Now, don't ever do it. It didn't go well, right? I used Rolo yogurt. And rather than tell... Yeah, exactly, right? Rather than tell my then-girlfriend what I had planned, I pretty much waited for her like some hideous yogurt goblin, right? Now, I doubt there's anything more terrifying than coming home to find me naked, holding yogurt, going, yeah, right? And I panicked, and rather than putting a little bit on, I pretty much basted her, right? By the time I'd finished, she looked a bit like Morph. You're sat there. I created an angry meal. You don't know where to start licking. You don't want to lick randomly, then she looks like she's got an illness. So, I did foot up to knee. That took me an hour. And hours, I was just... She looked like an angry gingerbread lady who'd had her leg dipped in Tippex, right? It didn't end there. I was like, I can't help you. The door opened, one of my dogs ran in and started licking the other leg. Never use food in the bedroom.
Thank you very much, Russell Howard. OK, the topic is human behaviour.
Some things you can't help doing. Do you find this? Like, if you get a cold can of Diet Coke, it's not enough for you to go, that is freezing. You have to find somebody you love and put it on their face. You can't... You don't do that with any other food. This soup's boiling in your eyes, but... For some reason, you become a fizzy torch. All right, Mum, Fanta to the knee! We're all fairly peculiar. Sometimes you think weird thoughts. I was in Tesco the other day. I was offered a bag for life, and I found myself going, I can't commit to that. You know? I don't know what bags are going to be like in the future. I feel like a tool if I got a plastic one in 2024. People go, I've got a new bag. It packs itself and speaks Spanish. Piece of shit. What can you do? I can suffocate a child. That's all you're good for. He can speak Spanish. I can hurt your hands on long journeys.
Topic is families.
Well, families are quite peculiar. Mine are wonderful. I went to Brighton the other day, and my uncle was like, watch out, it's full of gays, and they'll get you. They'll get me. They're gays, they're not ninjas. Not gonna... I'm so glad that I was raised by lunatics. I remember one of the weirdest stories I had happen to me when I was little. I was 8 years old. I was in Lanzarote. I just put some rubbish in a bin. I came around a corner and I was confronted by 2 werewolves, right? Turned out it wasn't werewolves, it was my mum and dad. Ah, ha, ha, isn't it hilarious? Not really, I've shat myself, right? But I've only recently found out they did not buy the wolf masks in Lanzarote. They bought them in England, which is beautiful and chilling at the same time. Look what I've got, David. Couple of wolf masks. You know, you don't like wolves, don't you? Captain Shitterbrick next door. Well, let's put him on now, scare him. Can I hold you just there, David? Can I wait until we're in a foreign country, get him really out of his comfort zone, and then properly shit him out? Families.
Well done, Russell. The next topic is education. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I remember school being fun. I think my favourite moment ever in life, pretty much. There was a girl in our school called Lydia. She was trying to make her calculator work. She was repeatedly knocking it against a desk. And after about an hour, our teacher went, Lydia! How would you like it if I banged you against the desk? It's the greatest day of school. But now it's more sinister, isn't it? Like, they're now talking about teaching 5-year-olds sex education. Of course, people are very angry. It's disgusting! It's too much! You're like, calm down. I'm not going to teach them technique. Right, this is how I like to do it, kids. That's right. Kids aren't going to run home, put dolls around a toy car and go, look, Mum, they're dogging, they're dogging. It's going to be some poor teacher trying to talk to 5-year-olds about love. Can you imagine a harder job? Hello, children. I'm here to teach you about love. Good luck with that, mate. I'm off to lick that tree.
Thank you very much, Russell. The subject, Russell, is etiquette.
It's like ladies with pointy breasts carrying books in a weird way. I'm really socially awkward. I met Jonathan Ross the other day, I got really excited. I was having a wee backstage at a gig, and he went, you're thingamajig, aren't you? And for some reason I went, I can be whoever you want me to be. Now, in a toilet, that is just a come on, you know? And with women, it's even worse. I was on a train the other day, and this lady went, excuse me, can you look after my bags whilst I go to the toilet? Now, in that situation, all you've got to do is go, yes. But for some reason, I panicked and went, you're not allowed to go, and it's in the station. So she sits down, going, fair enough, didn't realise you were the poo goblin. Horrible moment. The train wouldn't move. Eventually it did. I swear she looked at me and went, can I go now?
Thank you very much, Russell. The next topic is men's health. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I went to the doctors recently with anal issues. I thought I had cancer, not I can't put my CDs in order. But it's a terrifying moment, right? So scary, because in your head, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. And I went there and I took down my trousers. Obviously, we had a chat first, and it just... I'm not very well. You see that, mate? This is a chip shop. You've never done it slower in your life. I was just peeling them down. I got them down to about there. Just heard his booming voice go, in the other room. You have a decision to make there. Do you pull them up or do you waddle with pride, right? You waddle, that's what you do. When you waddle, you can't help but giggle. The last thing you need is to be giggling is before a man's going to pop his finger in your Richard, because now you're a wiggling target, right? I'll be honest, when the finger goes in, you're not laughing anymore! You're like a red arrow! And that's the moment they chat. How you doing? Fine. When you draw the curtains, we've gathered quite a crowd. Look at that, it's Atrium Steps and he's getting violated. I'm Russell!
The next topic is the royal family.
Prince Harry's pretty spectacular, isn't he? He's wonderful. The Sun really can't make their mind up, because one minute the Sun, he's a war hero, next minute, racist. Make your mind up. We don't want him killing foreigners, but don't call them names. That appears to be the way they operate, you know? But there's something wonderful about Prince Harry. He must have a weekly show called These Are the Things I've Done. And we'd watch it, wouldn't we? Yeah, a couple of years ago, man, I shaved my pubes, put it on a swan, big wow. Next week, I'm going to light my farts and fondle a gibbon. Come on over! We love him because he's ferociously stupid. Think about it. He had 100 grand spent on his education, the finest education money could buy. He went to Eton, he got 2 A-levels. One's an E in geography, one's a B in art. Can you imagine that? Your dad has spent 100 grand on your education? I've done a drawing and I sort of know what a hill is. You know?
Next subject is rage.
No wonder that man's cross. He's stuck in a shuttlecock. Everyone's angry, though. I know the kids did really well in their A-levels. How do we respond? A-levels are getting easier. In my day, you had to do 50 questions in a minute. You got one wrong, they killed your dad. You know? All you hear is, this country's gone to the dogs. I'm fed up with this country. It's the worst country in the world. It's enough to drive you mad. Yeah, I bet there's some bloke in some war-torn African village as we speak, just weeping. Why are you crying, mate? Is it because you've got no food, no money, no home? It is none of those things. Some people in England only have their willy bins collected once a fortnight. Is there no God?
The next topic is the consumer society. Russell.
It's all a bit much, isn't it? I went into a shop the other day that said, why not try a guilt-free wrap? You're like, don't make sandwiches evil. Sandwiches are lovely. The bacon sandwich, one of the loveliest things in the world. What is a bacon sandwich? Essentially, it's bread giving a dead pig a cuddle. It's a lovely thing. I love you, Mr. Pig. Why do the Jews hate me? It's lovely. I was really down about it, and then I saw this wonderful thing that I think could only happen in the West Country. The bloke behind the counter in this shop yawned. The bloke in front of him, who did not know him, popped his finger in his mouth and went, ooh, yawn rape, and I nearly died. I had never seen a yawn rape. And now you've learned about it, you can't not do it. You'll be on a bus, you'll see an yawn rape, you can't help it. Did the bloke behind the counter headbutt him? No, he didn't. The bloke behind the counter giggled and went, it's a good job I didn't fart, wasn't it? And you're sat there going, well, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell. That's fitness.
Could have been camel toes. Now, I was in the gym the other day. I was in a locker room, and a 5-year-old boy ran in and jumped into a locker. Now, sometimes you know you're just going to have an incident, right? You could hear him in there giggling, and you knew what he was going to do. He was going to jump out and scare his mates, because his mates appeared seconds later, like, where's Stephen gone? Where's Stephen? He was near a minute ago. This is most irregular. And he waited, not for his mates, but for 3 huge naked men. It was fantastic. They were kind of walking past, and this little kid leapt at those men like a cat with rabies. It was incredible, right? Just from nowhere, the noise they made, I've never heard a noise like it. They sounded like a tugboat getting molested. His long-suffering dad is in the showers, obviously heard this and went, that'll be my bloody boy! Ran back, confronted this glowing hellbeast and went, Stephen, what have I told you about acting up in public? And this little kid cut his dad down with one very simple sentence. Dad, your willy's moving? You're just there going, oh, the world is a better place.
The subject is young people.
Russell. Funky young people. You know, it's depressing being a kid. I saw this the other day, it nearly killed me. It's a kid who was about 8 years old in a cafe with his mum. He went, "Here, Mum, doesn't matter how many of these you eat." He was eating a fun-sized Mars bar. Doesn't matter how many of these you eat, it never leads to fun. How depressing is that? It's not a happy meal. Life is suffering, Russell. Life is suffering. It shouldn't be like that when you're 8. When you're 8, you should be excited about the world. Can you remember the first time you saw a rainbow? Can you remember the giddy delirium in your mind? You're like, "Dad, there's colours in the sky. I like the sky. I like colours. The two are combined. My mind is literally blown. I need answers, big man. I need answers." Well, that sun is called a rainbow. Oh, my God, it has a name. It has a name. This day can get no better. There's a pot of gold at the end of it. And it's guarded by a tiny leprechaun. Pull over, Dad. Pull over right now. Has anyone ever chased a rainbow? I did. You never forget it. I bet you didn't do this. Me and my little brother took a knife just in case the leprechaun acted up, right?
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Our first round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of America's former and possibly future first couple, Bill and Hillary Clinton. But what does BCAH stand for?
Just a very wild guess. Is it Bill Clinton and Hillary?
That'd be terrible. Imagine if we got it first time.
Bill clocks available hookers.
Bill's cigars always humid.
I've got a slightly different one.
I prefer clammy.
Is it? Bill controls Android Hillary. Look at him, he's like...
It looks like he's pointing her out to a sniper. Is that what it is? Bill considers assassinating Hillary?
Yes. I'll give if we could possibly steer it.
I know the answer, I reckon.
You're going to go for...
Bill campaigns alongside Hillary.
Ooh. That's exactly right. Well done, Russell. Unlikely things to hear in a science programme.
1643. The cold air balloon is invented, but it doesn't really take off.
For Einstein, it was easy to choose a DJ name. He would be MC squared.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gillian McKeith, and today I'll be sifting through your poop. Why? Because I was never hugged as a child.
Now on 5, crop circles, myth or bollocks?
Next, to demonstrate chaos theory, we've locked Boris Johnson in a room with an aardvark and some magic mushrooms.
I was the man who discovered DNA. I wasn't going to call it that, but I was giving a lecture to the Royal Society, and I said, "Gentlemen, I believe I've discovered the genetic fingerprint of all human life." Ta-da!
I've been Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless. Shit!
Thanks to carbon dating, this skeleton is now going out with a short-sighted geology student who likes thin people that don't talk much.
1891. Sir Alexander Graham Benn receives the first wrong number telephone call.
He realised that this equation was going to take him absolutely years. So he switched to a media studies course, which was a piece of piss.
I did have here a pie chart to demonstrate obesity.
Apart from the human, the only animal to enjoy having sex is the dolphin. I had to shag a lot of animals to find that out.
I'm a meerkat, she's not lying.
Tonight we'll be discussing molecular science. Our guests are Sir Patrick Moore, Robert Winston and Dappy off of N-Dubs.
With their tiny arms, could the T-Rex self-pleasure? Let's find out in another edition of Wanking with Dinosaurs.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Holly and Andy. Here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear in a religious program.
Mary, shag, avoid, Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
Does Jesus save? Let's check the VAR.
If you'd like to make a donation, please use the church's own online payment system, PayPal.
And Jesus was born in a manger, surrounded by sandwiches and cappuccinos, for this was a Preta manger.
Can we all stop calling Andrew Scott the sexy priest from Fleabag? Every priest is sexy when you've had enough altar wine.
So, if you want to hire an outfit for a marriage in a mosque, come here. Mosque Bros.
Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for Stargazing Live, where Dara O'Brien and Brian Cox will fill your head with heathen lies.
And there's the priest wearing a special new dog collar for the event. Welcome to Fetish Week on Songs of Praise.
Welcome to the show in which a man wearing a turban will help you when you can't get through the chain barriers. This is Seek Assistance.
In Judaism, there is no hell, just a Labour Party conference.
Well, due to a typo on the programme this morning, we have a bishop, an imam, and representing the Jewish community, the Chief Rabbit.
Thank you for watching Songs of Praise, and remember, when you go to heaven, I'm sure it'll be fine when God says, but you didn't go to church, and you said, no, but I did watch it on the telly.
And then it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, which I can only assume had something to do with the homosexuals.
And Jesus fed the gathering with the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, apart from the vegan with the wheat allergy who had to bring his own stuff.
This is St. Paul's Cathedral, which, because of a no-deal Brexit, is now a Wetherspoons.
And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And then he created Eve, but he didn't fancy her, so he switched off his light, because no likey, no lighty.
We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of the Prime Minister, the American President and the Chancellor of Germany. Well, what does CIDW stand for?
Is it in fact all they've achieved at the G20? Checked in, drank wine.
Is Merkel saying, Cameron, it's Denzel Washington?
She presumably is suggesting an answer to the crisis, isn't she? She's saying, call in Darth Vader.
Or she's saying, careful, I declare war.
Is it in fact Cameron interrupts Dirty Weekend?
Is it Cameron introduces drunk woman? Because she does look a bit.
She looks leery anyway.
I reckon it's Merkel's going to the vending machine to get some snacks, so she's checking the order. She's going, is it crunchy, ice cream, Diet Coke, what's it?
Is it David Cameron saying, children, damn, where?
Is it Angela Merkel saying, I've lived my life like a candle in the wind?
I've heard a lot of bad things about Men in Black 3, but it looks pretty good now they've cast Angela Lansbury in it.
Can I get the correct answer, please?
Is it Cameron issues dire warning?
That's very good. Well done. Thank you very much, Joe. The first subject is the worst thing to hear over a tannoy system.
Only you can hear me.
The train to Nottingham will arrive in 5 minutes, which is a pity because this is Tesco.
Second floor, but you can't get out.
Welcome to our school sports day. Mark will probably get stuck in a sack. Ha, bloody ha.
Can somebody come to the salami slicer, please?
If anybody has found a Vicks inhaler...
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know there will be a bomb on the tube, but will it be today?
The lift doors are closing, leaving you trapped in an airless, windowless coffin, hurtling downwards at 100 miles an hour.
Would the parents of the child that fell into the tiger enclosure please come to lost property to collect her shoes?
The plane's about to land in Glasgow. Passengers are reminded to set their watches back 25 years.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a survival show.
This is the most terrifying animal you can see in the wild. It has the body of Posh Spice.
Of course, if you're on an expedition, you must always make sure you boil all the water. Now, this can really slow you down if you come to a lake.
It's been 17 days since my last proper meal, and I am beach body ready, bitches.
Bear, are you related to George Foreman grills?
I've not had a bath for days on end. And that's because Rob Beckett's dad is in there.
There is barely any water here, so we've been collecting our urine. But this morning, some of it was gone, and that is taking the piss.
Spent 3 days in the jungle with nothing to eat but raw caterpillars. I remember the moment I walked back into civilization. Whew, there are a few butterflies in my stomach, I can tell you.
When I was thirsty, I was forced to drink my own urine. I'm now hungry and dreading dinner.
And when you're in the wild, you've got to remember what you learn at Scouts. Don't tell anyone our little secret.
Well, night is falling, it's raining, and I'm in the shelter, but it still feels dangerous here. There are 6 teenagers staring at me, and the bus doesn't arrive for 20 minutes.
If you suddenly see a bear extremely close to you, the best thing to do, stand stock still. Pull down your trousers and just let it have sex with you.
On the men's island, Derek's drinking coconut water because Derek's a hipster twat.
After 3 months totally alone on the island, it's amazing that John hasn't gone mad. Isn't that right, John? Yeah, it is, yeah.
So, I've managed to make a raft to escape the island by smashing up some boats.
Okay. The next topic is unlikely things to hear over a tannoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Waitrose, you smug rich pricks.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Would somebody please go to the power tools aisle and get me a drill?
If you see an unattended bag, please don't report it. Remember, you're in world of luggage.
Good evening, ladies. Topshop will be closing in 5 minutes. Please make your way to the till unless you're over 30, in which case piss off to M&S, you ancient old hag.
This is an announcement for the front desk of the swimming baths. Could doctor, someone's done a shit in the pool? Please come to reception.
Would the couple having sex in aisle 2 please stop? Spillage in aisle 2.
The 1625 has unfortunately been cancelled and has been replaced by a replacement bus service. EasyJet would like to apologise for all passengers who are going to Greece.
I only work in the post office for the crumpet. Watch this. Widow number 2, please.
In tonight's performance of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the part of the child catcher will be played by a 1970s TV presenter.
Welcome to Sexist Airways. I'm just going to pop on the seatbelt sign for a moment because we're swapping to a lady pilot.
We are now coming into land in Russia, where the local time is 1956.
Welcome aboard the one-way saga service special to Switzerland.
Just trying to have a laugh.
Attention to the submarine crew of HMS Nando's. Be careful not to burn your eyes on the periscope.
Lost children can be found at the Lost Children tent. If they're not claimed by the end of the day, they will be destroyed.
Welcome to Megabus. Things haven't worked out quite as well as you were hoping, have they?
Welcome to the sexist supermarket. Checkout number 3.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Josh Hewitt-Milton.
OK, here we go. The first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a TV detective show.
The suspect has got a gun, but it's OK. Gaz has arrived and he's brought chicken and a fishing rod.
I'm not doing it. This is a midwinter murder. It's freezing. It's not in the contract.
And as you can see from the samples we've taken that we've scraped from under her fingernails, she was manky.
He were a policeman that got hit by a car and thought that he'd woken up in 1970. He were wrong. It were present day. This is CSI Hull.
Sergeant, if you look closely, there are semen stains all over these bed sheets. Let's book into the Holiday Inn instead.
Poirot, you've done it again. You've bored me shitless for the last 2 hours.
So that's it. At the end of a 3-month investigation, that is it. It's Colonel Mustard in the living room with a lead pipe.
Inspector, has anyone ever said that you look an awful lot like David Jason from Only Fools and Horses?
Yes, Miss Marple, we've had the lab results back, and it's very interesting. Actually, it's thrush.
He fits the profile. This is going to be a really boring episode of Hole in the Wall.
You're probably wondering why I've asked you all to gather here in the library. Sorry. Probably wonder why I've asked you to gather in the library.
It's the TV presenter Noel Edmonds. Have you any idea why he was killed? It's the TV presenter Noel Edmonds.
Ken Stott is Detective Inspector David Sod in Sod's Law.
Well, we know now who's responsible for the killing. It's society, yeah? Yeah, you want to think about that, hmm?
The body is that of Eamon Holmes. We may need a little more chalk.
OK. Speaking of China, what's going on here?
It's a little bit of fun.
It is exactly what you think it is. Yeah. It is a panda on a rocking chair eating crisps.
Are they really sad because they haven't got a 50p to put in the machine?
It's not actually a panda, is it? It's some bloke who's got pissed on a stag night.
And the other two? Or is that the green one?
The green one's the reason why pandas are endangered. Because that's a male panda sitting on it, but he was given the option of the two panda bitches. He went, no, I'm going to nail this green one.
Because these are pandas from the region of China that was affected by the earthquake. The zoo isn't getting any business at all at the moment because obviously it's not a priority for people. So in order to get some publicity, they've decided to make the pandas eat crisps. It was a brilliant idea.
Why are those pandas in a play park?
Well,
are they like bad teenage pandas that are spoiling the play park for the little baby pandas? Hey, what flavour are your crisps, man? Your mother! Your mother flavour! Where's Gary? Text him. Let's bash the swings, man.
Are they really sad because they haven't got...
That, as a first effort at whimsy, was great. It was really, really good.
I've tried.
You did. I really think you tried with the whimsy. And then
it's just not there. It's just not in my soul. I can see those pandas shot.
Is this the bit that's going to go in?
Yeah. This is a bit that's going into the Christmas special.
There's also...
Happy Christmas, kids. I'd see those pandas shot.
My dad used to work for Qantas. He was cabin crew. And the best thing, my favourite thing I've ever heard, I think, about Christmas is that he was... So every second Christmas as a kid, my dad was away because he was flying. That was the way it worked with Qantas. And this one particular year, he told me that they were flying on Christmas night. And in the middle of the night, the captain, the pilot basically called him up and said, listen, in about 5 minutes I'm going to ask you to turn all the lights up because everyone was asleep. So he went, yeah, all right. He said, don't ask, just do it. So 5 minutes, my dad turned the lights up, everyone woke up and the captain came on and said, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to wake you in the middle of the night, but we've had a special request on the radar. There's a special person flying around the world tonight who wants to come on board. So if all the kids are awake, he's coming down, and then the pilot just jiggled the joystick. And the plane went, and he went, he just landed. And then out of the cockpit came Santa and did the whole lap of the aeroplane, gave out presents to all the kids, and then went back into the cockpit. And then the captain said, now we have to give him a bit of a run-up, so I'm going to speed up a little bit. And he actually pushed forward on the engines, and all the kids just went
No wonder Qantas planes have got a big hole in them.
That would be an amazing way to hijack a plane, wouldn't it? Just take over the Santa. Yes, Christmas is over. I've got 6 presents for you here.
Trying to bring some Christmas joy.
Things you never hear at Christmas.
Yeah, I'll be chauffeuring Eamon all through December. That's right, I'm driving homes for Christmas. Yes, that's right. It is plum pudding. And from my voice, you can probably work out whose plums are used.
Happy Christmas, you bunch of Muppets! Danny Dyer stars in A Muppets Christmas Carol.
My goodness, that's an enormous pile under the tree. When did you have it removed, Grandad?
Oh, we're under the mistletoe. I think you know what that means. I've locked us outside again, haven't I?
I love it when your parents come for Christmas. I just wish we couldn't hear them through the ceiling.
I can't believe there's this many needles under the tree already. We're really going to have to talk to Grandma about her heroin habit.
Wow, ABBA's greatest hits. Oh, no. It's a video of assassinations by PLO leader Mahmoud Abbas.
OK, Sharon, then. Right, OK. 2 words. OK, yeah, you're going to do the whole thing. OK, that... Right, it's the human centipede. Grandma, stop! You there, boy! Tell me, what day is it? Why, sir, it's the first day of the DFS sofa sale.
Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is bad things to hear from a tour guide.
Please don't take photos of the natives, because they believe that you're taking part of their soul. Apart from that, enjoy Norwich.
Hello, my name's Janet. I'm your holiday rep, and basically, I'll be giving out morning after pills like they were Smarties.
Good morning. I'm afraid this is the loudest...
Venice is a most historical city, famous for its... Oh, shit, it's flooded. Everyone get back on the bus.
A lot of you will be wondering why there are so many wonderful foreign treasures on display here at the British Museum. And the answer is quite simple, really. Gun beats spear.
Don't worry, this castle does cater for the disabled. They bring you a sandwich while the rest of us go up the steps to look at
Let's have a little song, shall we?
Coming up later on, we've got the topless donkey derby and who's got the funniest willy competition. Yes, it's going to be the best saga holiday you've ever had.
I know that a lot of you can't bear to leave Thailand, which is why I've hidden drugs randomly in your luggage.
And as we enter the next room, I need you all to be very quiet because we have technically broken in.
If you need anything at all, I'll be under your bed.
And if you look out of the window on your left, you'll see the side of the road that we should be driving on.
Of course, you have to respect local customs. On the right-hand side, you'll see a woman being burnt at the stake, and on the left, Dundee Town Hall.
Well, this is the deepest, darkest bit of the caves. And unless you give me £20 each, it's where you're staying.
And according to Wikipedia, the East Wing was built in the year Dougie is a homo.
We're now leaving the green zone. Pop on your flak jackets. This is the real Baghdad.
An adult and 2 children is £10. But enough about my trip to Cambodia.
$25 in a row. What is the question?
How many green bottles are standing on Charles Kennedy's windowsill?
Is it you've just been picked up whilst hitchhiking? What's the last thing you want to hear the truck driver chuckle as he nods towards the 24 empty rucksacks in the back?
Is it how many times has Dara O'Brien cracked one off on Blue Peter?
It was unfair to draw her into a political battle. I was fucking having a session with the woman or something.
Can a man not form an unnatural attachment to someone they've never met on the television without it resorting to masturbation jokes? He's just made a little shrine.
I've not made any little shrine. And can I point out, stop writing Dara fancies Connie on a piece of paper. I think she's twice been unfairly dragged into political discussions that are not of her doing, and that's what I'm defending here.
Is it for how many years has the UK finished bottom of the Eurovision Song Contest?
How many times has...
We won it in 1997, happen to know.
Did we?
Yeah.
So, that shoots you down, my friend.
Would you like to sing us that song, David?
Well, I would, but unfortunately a court order says I mustn't.
It was Katrina and the Waves, actually. Yeah.
Is it how many times does Victoria Beckham throw up during lunch?
Is it how many letters are there after A?
Is it Cliff Richard has had 25 top 10 hits? How many were shit?
Is it how many researchers from GMTV won phoning competitions last year?
They're just very good on those questions. I'm going to steer you towards the correct answer. It is an education issue.
Is it to do with GCSEs?
It is to do... No, actually, no, it's through A-levels, actually.
OK. The results are getting better every year, and they have been for the past 25 years.
That's exactly right. Well done, Ross. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Hal, which category would you like?
I would like world news, please.
OK, your category is world news. The answer is 24 hours. What is the question?
Is this what Jeremy Corbyn wants the voting age to be reduced to?
Is it... In his dreams, how long would each of Dara's science specials last? He's lovely science.
I feel there's a lot that we can all learn.
Is it... How long does every minute feel like if you're Melania Trump?
Is it how long did it take me to actually find the exit once I'd bought my tea lights in IKEA?
Is it how long till Julian Assange makes another vertical scratch on the wall of his embassy bedroom?
Is it how long is the time between my mum's two-part text messages?
Is it how long do you have to come up with evidence before the DA busts your ass?
Is this from a new action movie, Strangely English Cop?
Bust your ass! Chief, I'm terribly sorry to hear your ass is in a sling.
We'll have to take that straight to the Lord Mayor.
How long was Jeremy Corbyn awake at Glastonbury after taking what he thought was an aspirin?
Does anyone know the correct answer?
The correct answer is...
Yes?
How much warning, apparently, are we going to get before Donald Trump comes on a visit to the UK?
Absolutely right. Thank you very, very much, Hugh. Now we play a round called It's Getting Hot in Here, so take out all your jokes. This game involved Tiff and Ramesh, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is... magazines. Who wants to come in on that?
OK.
Tiff.
As a woman, most of your life is designed to make you feel a little bit shit. And magazines are responsible for that. You know, magazines like OK, which I look at on the shelves and think, when are they going to stop putting people on the front of that who are quite clearly not OK? Magazines will recommend that you have plastic surgery. That seems to be everywhere. Too much plastic surgery these days. I think that's why they've invented emoticons. Right, they're for women who've had too much plastic surgery, so you can just hold up an iPad and say, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel like a smiley poo with eyes. But I think the worst thing that magazines do is they perpetuate trends, really bad trends, right? I don't know how you guys feel about vajazzling. But I genuinely believe it is a plot by religious groups to get gay men interested in vaginas. By making them look like disco balls. I told my mum about the vajazzling, right? I said, Mum, they do this thing now where they put Diamante on your downstairs. And my mum just went, vajazzling? In my day, you were lucky if you gave it a wash.
Thank you very much, Jeff. OK, that leaves us with Ramesh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not, like, in the way that the contraception went wrong. Like, the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. Now, listen. I don't mean really hurt. I don't mean really hurt, I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences. Do you know what I mean?
Very good. Again, the points go to Tip Saver time. Come on back, both of you.
It's alive! It's alive! Oh, no, sorry, it is dead. I really am an awful vet.
I'm sorry, it's just you look nothing like your photo in Match.com.
You've got a flat screen TV and brand new trainers. I know what you did last summer.
I know what you did last summer, because you keep posting all your boring shit on Facebook.
Get back, you demons! You devils! Get away, Satan's spawn! Back from whence you came! That was the party political broadcast on behalf of the UK Independence Party.
I have a message from the other side. We have Bake Off now.
Actually, I'd rather you not say zombie. The term now is differently alive.
The ghost is trying to say something to us. Old Kent Road. Community chest. Go to... Sorry, I didn't have time to get a Ouija board.
Oh, my God! Everybody, run! Oh, no, it's just some fat prick with a Nerf gun.
I think you mean a broken Nerf gun. For example, this bit shouldn't do this.
I'm afraid I have no choice but to kill you, because I've already chosen to shag and marry your two friends.
28 days later, a horrifying journey of a man going from Three Bridges to East Croydon with Southern.
I see dead people. Oh, no, my bad, it's Keith Richards.
Here's Johnny, and then I'm going to put it on my willy, and then we're going to have sexy.
Sir, there's been another attack by the undead in Wimbledon. No, not zombies this time. Zombles.
A seance? No. I've been pronouncing it seance.
Is there anybody there? Can you hear me? Is there anybody there? This is the Christian O'Connell Breakfast Show.
That was Mayor Boris Johnson with his official statement on the riots.
You seen the traffic? It's a nightmare on Elm Street. And now, Alan Bennett's long-awaited remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Nantwich Leaf Blower kerfuffle.
What do you want? What do you want? No, I'm not paying too much for my car insurance.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. So I gave Mark's dinner party an 8.
Do you like scary movies, Sydney? Oh, sorry, is Sydney there, please?
If you don't keep up payments to your exorcist, there's a danger that your home will become repossessed.
Joke's on you, Dracula. I've got AIDS.
I ate his liver with some jelly beans and a nice ombongo.
I've seen the ring! I wish that builder would pull his trousers up.
I don't have to listen to you. You're just a puppet. If you don't shut up, I'm going to put you back in your box, Mr. Clegg.
I'm afraid he's been bitten by George Michael. He's turned into a vampire.
Got a Rama Shoe and Miles! Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely greeting cards.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Sorry you're dead. What can you do?
Sorry you're leaving. And sorry to break it to you in such a cowardly fashion.
Happy Father's Day, whoever you are, wherever you are.
Roses are red, violets are red, the greenhouse is red. I think I'm bleeding to death.
At this difficult time, I'm thinking of you, wearing suspenders and a mask.
I saw this and thought of you. Blank inside.
My feelings can't be put into words, although the judge did describe them as inappropriate.
That was a scrape. Congratulations on your circumcision.
Congratulations, you did it. And we'll prove it. The Crown Prosecution Service.
It's a girl, not a woman, which is why you're going to prison.
With deepest sympathies for the loss of your grandmother. / happy housewarming.
You've passed away.
21 years, and this time you'll probably die in prison.
To our darling son, on your 21st birthday, now get the fuck out of our house.
Please help me. I'm trapped inside a North Korean card factory. Also, Iron Man says happy 4th birthday.
Roses are red, violets are blue. When you go down on me, please don't chew.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a science documentary.
The dinosaurs were wiped out by a giant asteroid. Silly them for all standing in the same place.
Does it burn anything other than Bunsen?
He named the star after himself, and now we find ourselves looking at Arthur Cockmonster III.
So, it glows in the dark and it has a half-life of 1,000 years. Frankly, I've never done a poo like it.
On today's show, we'll be talking about the Jurassic period, where only dinosaurs and Bruce Forsyth roam the earth. He's old, isn't he?
For Sarah Palin, it's conclusive proof that man and dinosaur existed together. For everybody else, the Flintstones is just a cartoon.
Next, biology. Why is that gorilla so sexy?
Let the proton see the electron.
Scientists in Loughborough found the formula to make the perfect cup of tea, which is quite controversial as the grant was for AIDS research.
You've been watching me, Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless.
See, and the problem with cocaine is it's well Moorish.
Well, we could ask a proper scientist about this, or we could ask Dara O'Brien.
Hello, my name's Dara O'Brien. And to try and bring science to the masses, I'm going to appear in a programme with Stephen Hawking wearing a ridiculous hat.
Just enough with the, you know... I love that hat, by the way.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. And I've got a massive head and a massive brain. But all I get to do in this bit is just press a little button.
Mr. O'Brien, I award you a PhD. Phenomenal head, Dara.
I would just like to say that I think Dara O'Brien's a legend.
I work with Dara O'Brien. And today, my experiment is to turn this joke into a P45.
OK, well done, dinner and points got a wrong issue and Miles. We come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone could make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on Crime Watch.
If you have any information about this crime or any other crime, then keep your mouth shut. Stitches get stitches. Bah, bah, bah.
A relative paid tribute to the victim who sadly died in the blaze. He said, he was the kind of guy that just lights up a room.
Studies have discovered that the majority of murderers are men. So what should we be doing? How can we support female murderers? Should we be subsidising childcare?
The suspect defecated on Boris Johnson's doorstep. Witnesses described the man as an absolute legend.
No Crime Watch tonight, but reruns of Top of the Pops 2 are on BBC4 now, so just...
The man broke into Battersea Dogs' home and released all the dogs. Police are desperately searching for leads.
The criminals then blew the safe, but however hard they blew, it just stayed where it was.
Oh no! A city up north has gone missing. It begins with L and is great. Police are desperately looking for leads.
Do you like it? It's a Rolex on knick-knack.
That is a crime watch.
And now, as a bit of fun, we go to the blooper reel. Give me all your honey. I mean, money.
According to police, there were wet footprints leading across the bedroom carpet. Because one of us doesn't know what a bath mat is.
The murderer said she did it because he made so many jokes about me on Mock the Week I couldn't hack it anymore.
Were you in the Wetherspoons at 9 a.m? If you were, we want you to contact us. There was no crime, we just want to work out what went wrong in your life.
Right, let's have a quick look at Britain's Most Unwanted. This is Sam Allardyce.
The victim's name was Jehovah. Police are looking for witnesses.
Well, you know, like greeting cards are about £4, aren't they? But if you put them in the self-service, there's no weight on them, so don't... Hello, welcome to Crime
OK, the next topic is unlikely lines from a fantasy film.
But the ring was lost. Frodo looked up. This rectal exam had gone badly wrong.
I was Gandalf the Grey. But now, after only 3 washes...
Will the Mad Lord defeat the Leper Queen? Rob Beckett, Fox News, Washington.
My magic powers are strong. Put any penis in my hand and watch it grow.
Your Majesty, I have ridden here for 2 weeks on horseback to deliver this important message from your brother.
Hufflepuff? Oh, great, I'm getting bullied.
Frodo, it's so far, can't we just split a cab fare?
No, sorry, darling. No, that's a ticket. No, this is a double yellow brick road.
I am Thor. John Thor. And I am a Morse god.
'Tis I, Merlin, Grand Wizard and supplier of Premier League sticker albums. Suzanne, a shiny.
Oh no! I've been bitten by some radioactive corduroy. That means I'm going to become James Acaster Man.
No, I'm sorry, Alice. This is Sunderland.
After travelling across the dark seas and desolate plains, finally I am home. I left my keys at Clive's.
We actually find the term unicorn quite offensive. We prefer skinny rhinoceri.
Call yourself an orc? Oh, yeah, you can talk the orc, but can you walk the orc?
Do not go in there. It's an absolute bloodbath. It's literally a lion in a wardrobe. I cannot emphasise that enough. Killed the witch. Oh, my God!
Oh, what's that? The film's gone on for 9 hours and they don't know what you're doing anymore, so you just get an army of the undead to save the day? Fucking turn it in.
OK. Yeah, that round. The points go to Ed, you and James.